statistics make good headlines, but statistics can seldom make you understand what pain is. Say when you read the number like India having an estimate of 1.1 million new cancer cases every year, or for the fact that the World Health Organization estimates 84 million deaths from 2005 to 2015 due to cancer. You can perhaps understand what cancer is only when you know someone who's battling it. And in fact, for the longest time, cancer has meant just one word. It's just been a full stop. Today, thankfully, more and more people understand what cancer is, and that it is a battle that can be fought and won. That's the good news. But the bad news is that more and more people are being diagnosed with cancer. So on World Cancer Day, we focus on this big battle that India really faces. I'm Umi Kulsum, and on the show we have a mix of experts, from people from the field and experts who've actually battled cancer directly or indirectly. So we have with us Harmala Gupta here, who's a cancer survivor, and in fact with her thriving spirit, she is actually running a home-based group called CanSupport. And also joining us is Dr. Satya Yadav, who's the pediatric oncologist from Fortis Hospital, and we have Kanav Kahol from the Public Health Foundation of India. Thank you very much for all joining with us. Dr. Yadav, let me begin with you. We see that there are more and more cases of cancer being diagnosed. Is there greater awareness that you're seeing?
Yeah, like cancer is definitely increasing in India, and there are two factors. One is that definitely there is better awareness, better diagnostic modalities, so that is leading to increased pickup rate of cancer. But the other is that cancer is increasing per se, and that's if you look at the world history of last 50-60 years, whenever the countries have industrialized, they have developed very fast. They have increased cancer. That happened in UK in 1940s and US, and in 1950s in Japan, in 1990s China, and India is developing very fast now, and we are seeing the same in India also. And this is the use of more and more chemicals in our life.
Right.
So industrialization, use of chemicals, pesticides. So life is no more that pure what it used to be, and that's definitely contributing to cancer.
But sadly, as we're having more diagnosis, it remains a fact that a lot of the diagnosis is happening at a very advanced stage.
Correct.
Why is it so?
So our health system is not really a referral based system. Like it is, the system on paper exists beautiful, but the most peripheral parts like PHCs or district hospitals, there's hardly any awareness to how to pick up cancer or refer, where to refer, how to refer. So that part is totally lacking. The cancer signs, symptoms, how to pick it up, that's lacking. So that's a major reason. Like we recently did an analysis of childhood cancer, that what are the major barriers, why we can't be at par with West, why our results are not as good. So we published a paper in which we highlighted the first barrier is delayed diagnosis or no diagnosis.
Right.
So almost half of the pediatric cancer patients are not diagnosed and referred to cancer hospital in India.
Right.
So if there are 50,000 odd children every year with cancer, maybe just 20,000 or 25,000 are reaching the cancer hospitals or are diagnosed and labeled with cancer.
Right.
So our first battle is diagnosis. Then the second is, even if they reach the hospitals, almost 30 to 40%, half of them drop out, abandonment. They start treatment, they are diagnosed, and then they leave.
Is it because
they
of
leave.
financial reasons?
Finance is one of the reasons, but that's not the only reason. They're afraid of chemotherapy. There are a lot of things that alternative medicines, they believe that Ayurvedic or homeopathic or Unani system would work, something which has less side effects. They're really afraid of side effects.
Right.
And so there are a lot of things which lead to abandonment. There are a lot of factors.
Harmala, you have a more personal story. Just tell us a little about it. And in terms of from the 80s to now, we've seen a vast difference in our approach to cancer. But are we really keeping up with the pace at which the disease itself is developing? And then you have a support group like yours. How crucial a role does it play?
Well, you know, I was diagnosed with my lymphoma in 1986. I happened to be in Canada at that point. I was doing a PhD. And I was amazed at just how ignorant I was about cancer. I knew nothing about it except for the fact that it kills.
And you were really young at that
I had never met a cancer survivor in India.
Okay.
And that's when I realized what a stigma the disease had. People hid it, you know. And I remember asking my doctor, does it only happen in the West? And he looked at me rather quizzically. He said, no, it happens everywhere. I said, never met a survivor back home. And while I was there under treatment, and mind you, we have made great progress since then in these last couple of decades, because I remember my radiotherapy came from a cobalt machine. You didn't have the linear accelerators that are available today, which are so precise when it comes to radiotherapy. So we have come a long way. But I realized that more than anything else, while going through this cancer journey, you need good psychosocial support. And not just for yourself, but for your family too. Because cancer is not a disease of one person, really.
Yeah.
It affects everyone around you. Because there's that sense, maybe I'm going to lose this person. So you're grieving for yourself, the family too is scared, and they're worried. And I think what was very positive for me was I was able to meet people who had been through a similar experience earlier, were now healthy, were well, leading normal lives. And this was very encouraging for me, because I could hope that I would also be like that.
In terms of when we are talking about cancer in the Western world, we are talking about research in par with the numbers of cancer. You have genome sequencing, you have DNA sequencing, and it's remarkable what technology has done. But coming to India, where do we stand?
I think we have a lot to do. I think we have actually got so many problems dealing with just our public health system and being able to increase the access, that actually the amount of money and the amount of time that's being spent on research is actually very small, as Sahir pointed out.
How small is it? How small?
I think it's very hard to quantify it, but if you want to actually look at the actual amount of original research, I think it'll be less than 1% in terms of what is actually happening in the world, which is again very sad, given the fact that most of the research being done in the West is actually led by Indians. You know, one of the greatest books written on cancer, which won so many awards, was written by an Indian, and we know that a lot that is actually happening. I used to work in the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in Seattle, and it was full of bright people who have trained themselves in India and haven't actually got the support that out here in terms of the system to be able to work on that particular approach. And it's a combination. I don't think our pharma companies are also doing enough to actually really research.
But is there any pressure on the government itself to actually focus on this? Like, there was a campaign against HIV. There's been a consistent campaign over decades when it comes to polio, and cancer has been such a word that's been around for decades, and it's amazing that you're saying that less than 1% of research goes on to it.
Yeah, I think right now the pressure is rising. For example, government now does have a program called RBSK, Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karyakram, which is actually meant to look at four diseases, deficiencies, developmental disorders for kids, and we're actually seeing from this data number of kids, pediatric oncology cases is actually very, very high, and it's not just an urban problem, it's a rural problem too.
Right. On that note, let's take a short break, but on the other side, let's still keep our discussion going on where India stands when it comes to cancer research and also cancer among kids.